Good morning and welcome to the Bipolar Sunrise. I'm your host, Garrett Nichols.
I'm John Armstrong.
This morning, Nate and Ryan had some prior engagements, so they won't be here. It'll just be John and I. I apologize for my voice. I've had some, I thought allergies, and then I thought maybe a cold. But anyway, I'm feeling quite a bit better today. So, how have you been, John?
Been good.
Did you ever get a chance to look into the borax thing? You're getting ready to start a regimen on it.
I'm starting tomorrow. I'm starting on the 1st. I got everything mixed up, ready to rock and roll. We didn't really talk about this last week. I really don't care to talk about that. There's a lot of people keeping that shit hush hush. So I don't really want to talk about anything till I get into anything, if that makes sense.
We'll wait to talk about this until he has a chance to look into it. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff that this past kind of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we talked a little bit yesterday morning about some of the things, but the interesting kind of conspiracy, I guess is what I've been on a kick of lately, is organ donors. Like if you're an organ donor, if you are an organ donor and you go, say something happens, we'll say a hypothetical situation, and there's a car accident and you've been deemed, you're not, maybe you're alive but brain dead, and they've made the decision now, you're not going to make it, we won't be able to bring you back, now we're going to use your organs. And you have to be alive for them to use the organs. You can't, I think the woman that was explaining it said something like there's cellular deterioration after 1 minute of once your heart stops beating, and then within 5 minutes, I believe, and I could be a little bit wrong on these numbers, but she said somewhere around 5 minutes, then there's cellular death. And once that happens, if there's any cellular death in the organ,
It's unusable.
The patient will reject the organ, like, for sure. So it has to be live.
People don't really talk about this, but yeah, there's been numerous situations over there. Like, you're in a car wreck, if they're like, all right, you're kind of fucked, and they're like, well, we could save this person, they're not going to try real hard to save your life. They're going to harvest your organs.
Well, the reason he's saying it like this is for people in the audience that don't understand. Say a kidney's worth $75,000. You or your family won't get any of that money. And he's saying that there's the organs have been monetized by this particular hospital or any hospital that does transplants. If they decide to use your organ, they could be nefarious and say, well, we could save him, but we have this person in this room that we can make $75,000 off of, So if they have to fight my insurance company to pay to save my life with all these, or they let me die, and then so it'd be a question of morality by the hospital.
Definitely so. And if I'm donating my organs and stuff like that, I was looking into it, it's not like you have to pay for that. This ain't a thing where
the hospital double dips.
Oh.
They sell your free organ for $75 and then charge the patient's insurance company to do the procedure and the
once I'm dead and gone, they're getting charged anyway, like for me being on the table donating shit. Like, it's fucking crazy.
Well, your insurance company also, you die on the table, but whatever the doctor's done pulling your kidney out, I'm sure that they charge
they do
the insurance company for that.
Oh yeah.
And so the hospitals essentially come out of this thing smelling like a rose, and you would think, and I don't know exactly where the funds are, pushed to, but what I do know is in our capitalist society, it's typically the money gets pushed to the top, to the CEO. So there's maybe not more money being put back into research to save lives. It's getting put right into the CEO of this hospital's.
So are you an organ donor?
Not anymore. I did not know about this, but the last time I renewed my driver's license, I said, you know what? I for some reason in my head, I was like, I don't want to be an organ donor. It just seemed like I'm getting older, and maybe my organs aren't going to be that good anyway. I don't know. I just didn't want to do it. And then just this Thursday is when I started to look into the organ donating, because I saw a clip on Facebook that they were talking about it, and it's pretty interesting to know that, well, there's a monetization. So what I'm saying is there could be, just like with anything else.
I'm an organ donor.
Well, that's fine. I mean, who cares? You're dead.
Well, I don't care.
Right?
But
And if you're that messed up to where there's like, well, we could save his life, but you're going to be a vegetable or something, go ahead and harvest my organs. I don't want to be
right.
Paraplegic or something
My
like
thing
that.
is, do they dig through your wallet to see if you're an organ donor on your ID, or is that something they ask the family?
So if you get in a car wreck and your wallet's flung out of the car and they can't find it, then you're there. They're like, well, he's not going to make it. We need to know if he's an organ donor. They probably, I don't know.
Is it on the computer? Is there like a file?
Well, they'd have to know your identity for sure. And if you're in a car accident with no identification, they're not going to probably fingerprint you there on the road and then run your fingerprints to try to find out who you are. It's just like, oops, we lost, $10 million worth of organs just now, or however many. How many do you think that they're able to take per? Like, let's just say it's an accident, a traffic accident.
There's probably a dozen different things they can take from you. I didn't know they could take your eyes.
Spleens. Oh, eyes. Yeah, eyes.
So
that's happening a lot.
Liver, kidneys, heart, spleen,
pancreas, probably. Could they use pieces? And what about organs that they may just go ahead and take to do experiments on? Like if you go to the Red Cross and you give blood, you're giving the blood, and then the Red Cross sells that blood.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
To do research on,
or
it's a giant vampire.
We've talked about this.
Either way, there's
Vampire
probably
runs the Red Cross.
Both of those, they're not organizations, but the Red Cross certainly is, and it is definitely where does the money from the Red Cross research go? Because presumably, the Red Cross gets blood donated. They sell that blood to different vendors to do different kinds of experiments on or save lives with transfusions. Then they use that money to prop up sick kids, or the Red Cross does aid work, right? If people's tornadoes, hurricane relief, the Red Cross comes in and does aid, or no? That's what I'm saying. How do we find out, how do we as just normal guys find that information? Because you probably can't just do a search and be like, oh, I want to find out what the Red Cross does with their money. And I'm sure they have a little mission statement. Red Cross helps.
I don't know how much a pint of blood goes for these days.
I don't know. Then you'd have, because, how many, when the Red Cross comes to town or they go do these blood drives, how many pints are they getting? Truckloads. The lines are full. There's 20, 30 people in line waiting to get blood. My wife does every time. She constantly gives
I have no problem giving my blood away. Gary, if you were in a car wreck and needed my blood, I have no problem donating blood to you.
But you
The
wouldn't.
problem is
you'd be selling it to or
donating my blood, and then they're selling it to you for however many dollars a pint. And blood's got an expiration date. But I did hear.
Can't they freeze it too, though, and stuff, or do something to preserve it?
They put it in the cooler. It's probably 90 days. I'm not for sure how long, but there is a.
Because the blood cells are blood cells, they'll die.
But they do have a synthetic blood that goes to anybody. That just come out. It's blue blood, and I seen a documentary on this here.
Won't type O work with anyone?
Again, I don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah, it's something along the lines. But I did hear there's a synthetic blood that goes to everybody. That's synthetic blood's kind of weird to me, and it's blue.
Is it black blood that they've essentially synthesized in a lab and made?
It's synthetic.
So it's like you've heard about Beyond Meat.
Yep.
They grow the meat in a lab. So do they grow blood in the lab essentially, like red blood cells, and then plasma, and just enrich it with platelets and whatnot?
I don't know, but there is a place you can go out there and look for it. Like I said, I did see that pop up. I haven't went on a deep dive on it, but I did see that.
Well, it's an interesting subject for sure. So if you guys didn't know that, good. I'm glad I could, lay a little knowledge on you and let you kind of look into it a little bit, because it's very interesting. At the end of the day, like I said, most of the time I would guess if they're making those decisions for you, like, well, we're going to call it he's too far beyond. We've done everything that we can. Let's take his, like I said, how many times in that situation, if they are being nefarious and like, screw him, we could save him.
Let's save a 45-year-old or save this 10-year-old kid. They're probably going to pick the 10-year-old kid every time.
I think
or who's got the most money, too.
Still.
You got 60, 70-year-old like rock star on the table that needs a heart or a liver.
And their liver's already been screwed up from drugs and alcohol.
You're going to be like, well, this is whoever. Yeah, hurts a nobody.
I would like to think that, though, that if I'm 47 now, I'm rounding the corner to, a half a century old. I'd like to think that if I was in an accident or something happened to me and I couldn't use my organs, that it would allow another child that was 10 years old to make it to this age too, at least, or get close to it to experience the things. As long, maybe he gets, he already got dealt a pretty crummy hand with a bad organ, so, it can only kind of maybe go up from here.
Right.
Gets an organ and makes it in, and maybe he's an attorney and helps get people out of prison that was wrongfully accused and stuff, or he ends up doing something good, or he turns into a psychopath, because he got my organ and it turned him crazy or something.
Well, I've talked about this, and I don't know if there's a name for it. I call it a DNA transfer shit.
You've talked to me about it a lot. Yeah, just not by organ transplant, but just us shaking hands and being in close proximity and.
Right, you're absorbing DNA constantly in different things, but you always hear about these people, and science can't really explain it, but there's got to be something to it where there's got to be like a DNA memory or a thumbprint, so to say, I guess. But you'll have these people all of a sudden like, oh, I got a new heart or liver from this guy, and all of a sudden they're like, enjoy beer and spicy food, or all of a sudden they're a good carpenter or a musician from after they got a heart transplant. And it's like, that's just not like quinky dink. There's something to that, you would think, but there's not any scientific proof to back that up. But sometimes shit happens and you can't explain it.
A lot of this stuff happens that you can't explain constantly.
Right.
We look for these answers, and a lot of times the problem is that we're really in a bubble as far as it goes. We can only really, aside from using our imagination to a degree, we only have a set criteria of what we can imagine, because our bubble is what we've experienced already. So we can use our imagination, but we only kind of have this certain amount of things that we can pull off of for inspiration to expand our mind. You know what I mean?
It's like all of a sudden I'm laying on a table, me and you don't know each other, and something happened to you. You're on a table and you end up with one of my organs, and all of a sudden you get done like, hey, I want to do art. All of a sudden I'm good at building, or drawing. Me ending up with like a heart, and all of a sudden I'm wanting to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Or you want to fight in some way.
It's like, this ain't me at all. And I think that shit does happen.
Well, C.T. Fletcher, he's a YouTube personality that does a lot of weightlifting. He used to. He had, when he was young, he had the record for strict, I think it was 300 and some pounds that he could curl on a bar. He'd stand up against a wall. They'd do these competitions. He's from like Los Angeles, and he had the record for strict curling, standing up against the wall.
What's an average person? How much can you do, would you say?
Like curl right now, and I haven't been lifting or anything. I could probably do 100 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't know, even at 100 pounds strict up against the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is, guys, I say 100 pounds, and I could probably do it. I might be able to do 135 if I really, I'd have to practice maybe a little bit to get that.
Right.
Because that's quite a bit of weight. And the reason I know these numbers is because I've done them over the years.
How much would I be able to do, would you say?
Probably still, you're a big guy,
With
50
60?
to 75 pounds, probably, maybe even a little bit more. The thing is, like, you can do it, but are you going to be fucked up later on in the day? Are you going to tear a tendon or something?
Possibility. We're getting older.
Yeah, but he'd been doing this. Obviously, he's practicing and practicing and practicing.
Technique has a lot to do with that.
That, and he's eating for it. He's training just for that specific.
Right.
But for average man, it's not a normal. It's really hard to do up against a wall.
Right.
Because you can't swing at all. You have to use your biceps. It isolates that muscle completely. But anyway, the point I'm getting to, he got a heart transplant after years of heavy lifting. And he would say, I didn't know any better. When I'd get done after a workout, I'd go through the drive-through at McDonald's and get 4 Big Macs. He said, because there's a couple thousand calories right there. He said, all I knew is I needed calories. I didn't know McDonald's was bad for you. So that was pretty much his diet coming up. Anyway, he had a heart attack, got his heart transplant, and some of you that are listening, I know will know the story, and so I may be getting some of these details wrong. I don't want to lead you in the wrong direction, but we'll just say that this is essentially, he got the heart transplant from probably an Asian woman. Then he described that after surgery, he would crave, and like I said, I could be getting this wrong a little bit, he would crave spicy Asian food. That is what he sort of had, not for Asian food necessarily, but the spices that were in it, that type of smell, things, he liked it now. But he never did before.
Right.
Like I said, he's from Los Angeles. He ate
Big Macs
and just bull crap most
American
of his
food,
life.
fast food.
Before he got older and he started cooking for himself and things, and then it was for nutrition, chicken and rice and things. He wasn't eating for pleasure, let's just say. He's famous for get off the couch and stop eating bonbons and still you're set, get to work.
Right.
Had a really good, anyway, but that was his. And so when you're getting an organ transplanted, if you ever have, that'd be cool. If anybody ever has and you want to comment on the video and kind of let us know.
This is something I've been talking about for years. I mean, you've been talking about this for years.
So, and I wonder what the depth of is like. I wonder, it would be interesting to know how much DNA transfer there is just on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
And then how much there would be with such a sensory overload of getting an entire organ. Because if you say that our characteristics change a little bit, or not characteristics, but maybe our demeanor, our activities, the way we take care of ourselves, change when we get around a person. Not because I like you and so I want to be like you, but my fucking DNA, yours is maybe stronger than mine, so it's transferring to me, or I'm more susceptible to. I'm more
sharing a drink, like DNA transfer one way or another there, which kind of makes
skin flakes. You breathe them in.
Yeah, I wonder if like me and you hung out like 24/7 for say 5 years. We're using the same bathroom, we living at the same place, we're shaking hands, we're buddies, we're sharing a whiskey drink, protein shake, whatever the case may be. I wonder, you'd think me and you're gonna become more similar. Like I might get into jiu-jitsu and you might become like an artist.
Artsy.
Yeah, I mean,
Some
is
of
it
that could
due
be nature
because
versus nurture?
that's
though.
exactly what I was getting ready to say.
Because you're showing me how to draw, and I'm showing you jujitsu.
Right.
You just didn't know it.
Right.
But could there be a little bit of both?
Yeah, I wonder.
That's prison would be a good one, right? Because you're in a cell with people
Right.
close.
I like to think if you're around good people, you're going to want to be a good person.
And
If you go the
same is
opposite
true.
direction, you're
It
in
is.
prison,
Look
jail.
at kids. 14-year-old kid starts hanging out with a couple of older 15, 16-year-olds that are into no good. He's into no good.
Right.
But they're also, your brain's developing at that time too, so there's a whole bunch of factors.
Oh, there's a
that
lot
play
of
into
factors that go into it. Definitely so. How are your kids doing with school so far this year? They enjoying it?
So Reese's first year in middle school, and it's August's last year in middle school. So there's it's only been a couple of weeks, but August is, of course, picking up where she left off last year. She's already cheerleading, so they go right into cheerleading practices.
All right.
And so she's making already new friends. And Reese met, because once you go into junior high, you get kids from Village and Timmerman and Riverside and Maynard or where
Kids that you weren't used to seeing.
you weren't used to see them. So she's already met 3 girls. They all had the same first letter of their name, A, and so that was cool to her. So yeah, I think that it's just, you know how it is. Your kids are growing because it's one minute they need you for everything, that you have to be there for them. You can't leave them. Can't trust them to be by themselves. They don't want to be by themselves.
Right.
They want you. And then it's just, there's a window where they're kind of wanting to hang out with you and want to be more involved with what you're doing,
Right.
and wondering what's going on with you. And they're like, wow, what's it like being an adult? And they're like, they find out it's like, ooh, my parents are like busy. Like they're always doing serious stuff and they don't want to be around you. And then
It's like
they
that
don't
kid
need
thing
you
in
at
us
all.
when we were younger, like, oh man, when I'm an adult, I can eat ice cream for breakfast if I want. My parents ain't gonna say anything to me. which ain't like that at
But
all.
then you eat ice cream a little bit, and you're like, you think about, man, I paid $4 for this pint of ice cream.
I'm eating it all.
I could have had a full meal.
Speaking of which, so it got brought to my attention the other day that there was a sheet that came to her house that you're supposed to sign that said something about bullying-ish, but it was like you can get in trouble for misgendering.
Ryan talked about it last week on the
We
show.
did.
Piper brought that paper home.
And I didn't think anything of it. Well, I got home and was
Okay.
looking around, and sure as shit, I was looking at Miss Bell's deal, and yeah, we had that same sheet.
So now we talked about it on the show, and now you've had kind of a week to, you looked at it, it's real.
Yeah.
What did you guys do? If you want to talk about it, or what do you think? What do you think about it, I guess?
The kids seem fine with it, but they're kids. There's a reason they can't sign documents before they're 18 legally.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. I think it's dumb as fuck. Because from what Miss Bell has told me, people will change their identity daily sometimes
It
after
happens.
school.
Sure.
Or they want to be called something that's different. Well, they all of a sudden they change their name and you're misidentifying them, and there's a chance my daughter could get suspended now or
Mm-hmm.
get in trouble for misidentifying somebody. I just found that kind of odd.
I guess let's just unpack it here for the people watching a little bit and try to look at it from, I guess, a couple of different ways. The way I'd like to approach looking at it is the discipline side of things if it does go wrong. We know that there's little jerk kids
Right.
on both sides of this. So there's the possibility that one of these kids could change their identity so often and use this as a way to get attention by constantly trying to get people in trouble.
Right.
Right. Cry wolf type of situation.
Yep, definitely.
We've got kids that are probably genuinely getting bullied in a way that's probably too much. You know, there's obviously a pecking order type situation, which I'm okay with to a degree.
And I'm okay with that to a degree too. That's just life. You shouldn't have to work harder to not be
Right.
a certain
And it's
way.
really good psychologically for a child to figure that out, because typically when they do, it pushes them forward in a way that they're able to be successful amongst their peers.
You're a little feller growing up.
I was.
Did you get bullied quite a bit being smaller?
It was an odd dynamic, John. I did and I didn't. I always, for whatever reason, I've got sort of a charismatic personality. I'm also a real smart mouth. Was the class clown. I was a funny guy and I was fun to be around. And so I feel like I got protection from the older kids, and my friends were all bigger than me. So Keps Johnson, shout out Keps and Josh, they're brothers that live down the street from me. Keps was like, he was your size. He was big. And when we were young, he was always bigger than everybody, and Keps was my best friend. So nobody would dare. Keps could fuck me up. And we would fight each other, like play fight and wrestle, and him and me and Josh, and I always got beat up by him. But I always gave him my licks, you know, and it was mutual. We wanted to do it. It was fun. But when other kids wanted to do it, that's Keps and Josh. If it was just me and Josh, the younger one, and somebody was picking on me or Josh, then they all knew that they'd have to deal with Keps.
It's kind of like your brother said, it's okay for me to pick on you, but don't you dare.
Don't do it to anybody else.
Right.
Right. Keps was his ways, like that's even
That's
though
my brother. I'm allowed to do that. You're not.
Right. They see him do it and think that they might be able to do it. And
Right.
no. And he was pretty much bigger than everybody else.
Right.
And even if they weren't, they didn't want to find out.
Right.
He was a pretty serious kid. So I had that going. Then once high school started, football, people would try to pick on me in football. Then I had Big Irv. Rest in peace, Big Irv. He got a heart attack.
Yeah, you were talking about that a few years back, I think.
Yeah. Too bad for him. Good kid as an adult. You know, he was kind of a free spirit, rode his bike around a lot.
Yeah.
Ate, partied. But anyway, so yeah, I had that going for me. I was a charismatic dude, and that kind of carried me through even into my 20s at work, when maybe I would fuck up something at work. But instead of the guys shunning me and making me look like an idiot, they'd help me to fix it. Oh, here's what you, they'd still call me a dumbass. You fucking idiot. That weld looks like monkey shit. Did you even try here? Did you try it like this? And then they, more than anything, they're showing me how fucking skilled they were. Well, I wanted to be skilled like that too, and I wanted to be part of that group, and they wouldn't just let me be in it, but they didn't
push you out.
Treat me like some of the other guys that you could tell they were just not ever going to fit in. They wouldn't even give them a chance.
Right.
But they not only gave me a chance if I'd fuck up, and even if it was my fault and I wouldn't take credit for it, I'd try to push the blame, they'd still take me under their wing and push me along to where until I got there. You know what I mean? I always has kind of been that way. You've been that way with me too. I didn't make good decisions, but you dealt with me until I did make the good decision. You figured it out, like, yeah, okay. So I don't know what exactly, I do know what it's like getting bullied, but I also know what it's like to be able to be the little guy sitting on the other side of the fence poking fun.
And believe it or not, I was in that same group. I've always been a bigger guy, but I did get bullied a little bit here.
Because you were the biggest guy?
Pecking order. Yeah, and
because you
I
also
was a
been
smart
pretty
ass
passive
class clown,
You
joking
don't
around.
fight. If somebody called you a pussy, you're fine to just walk away.
Yeah.
To where I'd be like, pussy, you know?
What are you, chicken?
Yeah, you walk away like, yep, buck, 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 buck. You know, is that
motherfucker? I'm gonna
you're-
go
you
shit
gotta
an
get-
egg up, throw it at you.
So did you get picked on sometimes because you'd be like, try to joke it off and they'd be like, fuck this guy. Because you were big, they wanted to push you, but nobody probably really wanted to see what happened when you got pissed off.
No, I never
There's a
really.
lot of weight
I
to
had
throw
older
around.
people too that took me under the wing. I always hung out with an older crowd. So,
I was
like when I was
always
a
young.
freshman, I was hanging with like the juniors.
I had to do that too because I started school when I was 5. August 14th is my birthday. I started school like the week of.
Right.
So I was 17 when I graduated high school. Not gonna turn 18 somewhere in the middle of the year. Turn 18 going
It's
into
like
my senior
Xander,
year.
August 12th.
Same thing, and that sucks. I thought his birthday was the 10th.
That's Miss Bell, October 10th.
Wow.
10-10.
Okay. Anyway,
But
doesn't
she's
matter.
doing really good. She's enjoying
Yeah, I
school
saw
this
her,
year.
like I said, pulling out of. I think she was pulling out of the tech college
Yep. That's where she's been going.
somewhere in the day, and I just saw her hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit! It just kind of brought back a lot of memories because now Miss Bell is driving around her own car, going to college
So
and high school, and being responsible. It's
I was
crazy.
getting a little irritated. I pull up at the house and the neighbors are out. They have a garage band. There's a guitar player and a drummer out there, and they're out there all the time jamming. We kind of have a shared driveway, and then I'd pull up and go into the house. Miss Bell's like playing guitars and bass guitars. I'm like, why the fuck are these kids not together
Mhm.
doing a garage band? Well, it just so happens to be they got hold of her a couple weeks ago and be like, hey, we need a bassist. Would you mind doing that? And Miss Bell was like, well, yeah. What songs? Send me some songs. And she finally went over there a couple days ago for their first jam session. And she was like nervous. I mean, we've known these people. They live next door for years. I'm like, why the fuck is she nervous? I didn't realize how much anxiety these kids have to fucking hang out with one another. If
Because
I
it's
was
all in front
if
of
I
a
was
screen.
playing guitar and heard you in the garage playing drums, we're automatically going to be besties.
Oh, fucking
like
we're
fuck,
having
dude,
a
we're
band.
gonna run the. We're gonna start a rock
The
band.
greatest 2-man band you ever fucking saw.
We need to find somebody else, and we're just gonna build this thing up. So they're finally. She took her little bitty bass amp over, and I was like, "This is dumb. That ain't gonna be enough." She takes her little amp over there, and the guy's like, "Oh, you can go ahead and turn that up." She's like, "That's as loud as it gets." And we have a big amp. And I texted her like right when she got over there. I was like, "Do you need a bigger amp yet?" And me and April were gonna go upstairs and just grab it for her, but I didn't want to embarrass her like by taking it over there. It's just right from here to the Forerunner kind of thing. And it wasn't but probably 15 minutes later, I hear her come in the door. It's like, "You ready for the bigger amp yet?" She's like, "Yeah." So I help her carry this thing down the stairs, and it's got casters on it. And I remember when I got this amp years ago, I bought it for $100 when I was right out of high school. It had casters on it, and I remember buying the amp and being, 17, 18, dumb. I was like, I'm gonna ride this fucker down the hill to my buddy's house, and I blew fucking bearings out in a caster. So yeah, it's just kind of funny.
I'm gonna
And she
ride
likes this fucking story, so she says like, "Oh, I got another amp. I got a big
I
amp.
got a big one.
It's got a blown out caster because my fat ass dad rode this fucker down the hill, 30 years ago. So yeah, that shit was pretty funny. But yeah, she went over there. They jammed out for a couple hours. I think she had a really good time. I think it was good for her. She's a hell of a musician. And she was talking about the freshmen coming in. She's like, oh, they're so young. She's a junior now, looking at the freshman crowd coming in. She's like, they're so little. They look like a bunch of fucking kids. I was like, that's how you looked a few years ago going into high school. So it's kind of funny when they start seeing stuff in perspective like that.
Well, it's probably for them, things are starting to. We have every school year at the end of our block, there's a house and there's usually 4 kids. I'm assuming there's 4 bedrooms in the house. But every other year, it's all group of males. And then the next year, it's all females. The next year, it's all males. That's how it's been there since we lived. We didn't recognize this. Our neighbor that lives next to him just told us. She said, yeah, every year they do 4 girls and 4 boys. It just flips back and forth. The landlords, I don't know how they set it up, but that's the way it is.
It's purposely set
They
up.
purposely set it up to where every other year they have girls and then boys. Like, and you can tell, like the boys, they'll have parties in the backyard. They'll have friends over. They'll have disc golf and shit.
Beer cans everywhere.
Beer cans, and then the girls will come in and it'll be quiet. And not that they're loud or anything like that. And they're at the opposite end of the block from us. But it's just anyway, what the point I'm getting to is these young men and women that I'm starting to see just look like my kids. They look like high school kids. They all are starting to blend. My daughter, who's 14 now, is starting to look just like the college age girls. The blend is so close because she's reaching that age where she's not. Even Reese, her face is
She's not a baby anymore.
Not anymore. Like, I look at her and I still want to say, come on, baby, let's go play. And it's like, she'll say, I'm good. I'm like, no, I'm not asking. I guess I shouldn't say, we're going to ride bikes. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to stay here and play with my friends we're on Roblox playing a game. I don't know. It's great that they grow up, but it sure is hard for a parent to watch them.
It's really odd too, because I was thinking about this, and I kind of got a little misty-eyed about that. There was the last time I took my kids to the park. I didn't know it was gonna be the last time.
Right, of course.
Do you remember when you're like walking around? Hey, Dad, can we stop and go to the park? This here, and that you're pushing them on the swing set. This here and that. Well, somewhere or another, it comes to the point like where the kids a couple years ago we passed the park. He's like, "Hey, you guys want me to stop and you guys can go play at the park?" They're like, "You're an idiot, Dad."
Yeah.
Like, why? And it's like, man, there was a last time I took the kids to the park and it got away from me and I didn't know it was gonna be the last time. Like, of course, a season happens, winter happens, they grow up, all of a sudden they're not into being pushed on the swing or want to do the teeter-totter or whatever the case may be. But I remember it wasn't that long ago, I couldn't pass Peter Pan Park. Like, hey, Dad, can we go to the park? And those days are gone now.
We just talked, Katie and I were talking about it I think we were sitting on the porch yesterday because we just went to Branson and I told her, I said, man, this might be the last time that Taylor and the girls and us do something. He's going to be 18 in December.
He's gonna have a job.
He
He's
already
not gonna
has
be
a
able
job,
to do
and
shit,
so
or
he had to
work
put
gets
in-
in the way. And
He goes to school and he had to put in for time off work. He hadn't started school yet, but he had to say, oh, well, let me see if I can get off work and I'll let you know. I'm like, damn, my son has to let me know. And if it's that way now, what if when he gets a girlfriend, is it gonna be, well,
she's got this thing going on.
With
Oh,
her
we can go to
parents.
Christmas thing. They have this Christmas thing going on, and
yeah, and that's gonna start happening and
yeah,
your kids need you and then they don't need you. They really don't. They need you. You're still their
oh
parent.
yeah, definitely.
But-
So it's funny how quick that actually happens.
It's because just like anything else, people are putting Christmas lights up right now. Right now, there's Christmas lights starting to go up around, and I'm like, it's still it's
in September.
it'll be here. Thanksgiving, Christmas, and that's how it's like that every Christmas. You're like, you think about it at Christmas, like, didn't we just have a Christmas? Yeah, we also had 3 kids' birthdays in that time. Time just flies by.
Yeah, I'm getting to the point where my weeks are going by like that. Like on my weekends, I'm ready to get back to work. Then I'm working. I'm ready for my weekends. and they're just a work week now feels like a day or two, and next thing I know it's the week. I'm like, fuck, what the hell am I gonna do this weekend?
Yeah.
It just keeps clicking
I think
by.
it's by the urgency of summer's ending to get as much done as you can because we know we've got a long winter coming.
This time of year really fucking gets me down.
Me too.
'Cause
Because
I
I
feel like-
enjoy the fall weather and putting on the hoodie and stuff. And then I'm like, oh, I know it's going to be fucking cold.
It's getting cold. How much
Ice.
shit can I get done before winter gets here? Like, are my pipes gonna be all right? Is this here gonna be all right? Do I need to crawl under the crawl space? I just struggled last year, and I told myself like, well, when it's not so cold, I'll crawl underneath
You
there and
haven't
wrap
done
the
it
pipes
yet.
up, and I ain't fucking done it yet. And then they freeze up again. You're like, God damn! I told myself this last
Oh, and you
summer
have
I was
to do
gonna
something
crawl underneath
simple
there.
to stop it.
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind. And that's what happens with our kids and our whole life.
It's like rigging things up. Like, okay, I can do a temporary fix on something, but if I don't have problems in the next year or two, and then it finally goes bad, like the shittiest time, it seems like I knew it was fucked up. I knew that was a temporary fix. I did not fucking fix it.
5 years
And now
ago.
it's raining outside. There's ice everywhere. I got to crawl underneath my car, fix this shit, which I knew was fucking wrong. I could have done it on a nice day, but it was out of sight, out of mind kind of thing.
I'm going to go kayaking today. I have
Yeah.
absolutely nothing to do.
I always have something to do, or should be doing something. That's for fucking sure.
Yep, when you can attest
Procrastinating.
to, you're a young guy, it's fucking summer, and you're sitting on the porch, bored as fuck, not moving, just wishing something would happen instead of making something happen. And you're like, man, if I was 18 and lived in the city, you don't know what I'd be doing right now. Guess what? When you're 18 and you live in the city, you're at work.
Yep.
But you don't know that when you're a kid, you're just like, oh, I can't wait to be on my own. I can't wait to be, yeah, I can pay bills. That's all you're gonna do. I'm glad you can, because that's the rest of your life.
You were trying to figure out, like, we're all guilty of it at the get-go, and I see Xander going through his struggles sometimes and his girlfriend, but I see him go out to eat all the time or go get coffee, and he's like, fuck, rent's due. I'm like $20 short due to my fucking spending habits and me being an idiot. You know, that first couple months he was out of the house on his own, and we're all guilty of it. Like, you know what? I should have planned a little differently. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, I thought going out to the bar last night, buying my buddies drinks was going to be all right, but now I'm $20 short on rent this month, and you're doing everything you can to come up with the extra money to pay the bills.
I
So
couldn't carry cash. It'd have to be in the bank, and I'd get out enough. If I got out any more,
whatever you got out, you're spending.
but then something happened that changed the game.
Had
for me.
kids?
ATM machine. Now I've got a card that I can get after hours. Because that used to save me. Couldn't get money out of the bank. But then I got a debit card and I could access the money all the time. So $200 that I had saved for food and rent and everything. Just think I'm drunk. I'll make that money back tomorrow.
Yeah, fuck it. I don't have to eat this week. I'm
Yeah.
gonna drink.
I'm fine. I got a 6-pack at the house. That'll last
Right.
me a day.
And I got ramen noodles. I can eat a month off of that.
I never ate ramen noodles in my entire life.
Ever? You've never had them?
Still haven't.
Never
will.
tried them?
Nope.
Never once?
Nope.
You know
Not
you're
even.
missing out, right?
That's what people say. I don't care. I'll miss out my whole life.
What are you doing for lunch today?
Not ramen noodles. You can imagine this, like this, just for you. The best thing that you've ever done in your life, John, but you haven't found out yet. It's sucking dicks. Well, you've never done it before, or you're gonna start just because you think it's the best and
Don't
you're
knock
missing
it
out.
till you tried it, dude.
We're talking about you here. Leave me out of this.
Well, $20 is $10 if you got $5.
But you know, I mean, I'm saying like this
Yeah.
ramen noodles. Like I don't think it's not gonna be such a luxury that I'm like, if I would have just like ecstasy. I get to the pearly gates and like, you never tried ecstasy? And I was like, no, I did. And they're like, oh shit, lucky you. But I don't think they'll be like, you never tried ramen? It's like ecstasy.
Well, I didn't grow up rich like you did, apparently.
Well, we had ramen. I didn't like it.
Oh, you
I-
didn't like it?
No, I don't know. I've never tried it. I just assume I don't like it. I don't like the
Okay.
smell. I don't like the way it looks. Ramen noodles, for some reason, every single person I've ever talked to me think I'm crazy, but it's just not for me.
Well,
I'm
you
not
are
doing it.
crazy.
Yeah, so yeah, you were right. I'm not eating ramen noodles. Like, I've never been that broke. There's other shit. Eggs are just as cheap as fucking ramen noodles. And I
I
can
do
eat a
like
whole
your
bunch of-
eggs.
I like eggs. It's like Why would I eat ramen noodles when there's eggs that have everything you need?
All right, so hear me out.
Okay. Mix the
Sometimes-
egg in the ramen
Oh, I
noodle.
do. I'll do like a Chinese on the flat top, ramen noodles, break an egg, throw it in there, and then soy sauce, and chuck it into a bowl. So I can fix that.
No, I don't eat pasta either.
I don't really either.
I mean, breads and pastas are something I've pretty much taken out of my diet completely.
Yeah.
There's times I eat bacon and eggs every day, and then if I'm at home on the weekend, I'll put a couple of slices of bread in the toast, or make some toast and then dip up the.
I
yolk
am
and
more of a
whatever.
tortilla guy over a bread guy, but April makes damn good sourdough bread, which when you're dealing with that kind of bread, that's the better bread. The sourdough is not like the shit from the grocery store.
I think even to get even better is you import your flour from Italy,
Right.
where they don't put bromine and enrich it with folic acid and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Make your own.
Yeah. No, we don't do that.
No.
But yeah, I like where this is going. Speaking of bread, like April, every once in a while, will buy some from the store for Miss Bell to make sandwiches and shit like this. But I've noticed, like bread, I'll look at it. It's been in the fridge or in the cabinet for like 3 months, and there's still no mold on it. Like shit ain't molding like it used to. It used to be if you didn't use it within a week, it would mold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. Like this stuff that's not. What the fuck are we putting in ourselves?
Well, the way it was described that I just listened to the other day, if I'll try to do my best to describe this. First, it starts with the genetically modifying the wheat, and it essentially strips the nutrients, but it allows the wheat to not mold as quickly while it's in the whole form, while it's growing. Well, when that happens, you lose, I guess, I could be describing this wrong, you lose nutrients doing that, so it's not nearly as nutrient dense as it would be. Then, because there's no nutrient in it, they enrich it with folic acid and say it's enriched. Then the bread needs to be white, so they bleach it on top of that. And then they add bromine to make it set higher, because when you strip that stuff from the DNA, that didn't make it rise. So then they had to add the bromine to make it hold together. And then they had to add one other thing to make it rise. It's not yeast, but something in the actual wheat to make it grow. And so I guess essentially they've stripped it, they've bleached it, they've added folic acid, which 40% of the population cannot metabolize in their body, so it rejects it. That's not gluten. People say it's a gluten intolerance. I think it's the modified wheat, and that's what's causing it, in my opinion.
Things just ain't going bad like they used to.
There's too many preservatives put into things, and that can't be good for our body. You putting that many preservatives in your body, isn't that just like embalming you while you're alive still?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. We've all seen the thing. The guy had like a McDonald's Big Mac or cheeseburger or something, and he has like Arby's burger, and he ages it for a month. Like the McDonald's burger still looks as good as it did. Like, yeah, take the picture. You like the real burger, it's stinky, it's got mold, it's fucking falling apart. It's just disgusting after a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think let's call it a day, John. It's been real, it's been fun.
What do you got going on for the rest of the day?
We're gonna have to call it a day, John.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. There was a minute there where I was like not sure if I was gonna be able to.
You all right?
It's in and out, but yeah.
It's been an hour.
I am now, but like a minute ago I was.
You want to
I
talk
was
about
like, oh.
quantum physics and anything like that?
I'm getting in the realm, for sure.
Have you kept up on any of the quantum stuff like that, quantum computers, and you know anything what I'm talking about at all with that?
I've listened to people talk on podcasts.
So these things are like solving equations, problems in like 5 minutes. Would it take a regular computer like thousands of years to do?
Not only that, but they said that they got their answers from another dimension.
Yeah, interdimensional things.
It was impossible for them to find an answer here, so they hop over to another dimension.
So they're
got the
talking
calculation
about-
and came back.
Yeah, exactly it.
A computer did it.
They're and did you see how hot these computers get?
The
They have to freeze them. There's like a freezer because
cooling towers.
they're so fucking hot. They're going so fast. They have to be chilled.
That's amazing that they're making.
And they're like talking about how everything's done binary code, like flipping a coin, and then you're like writing something down, zeros and ones. This thing here is like you spinning a coin, and the quantum computers aren't stopping the coin; they're just picking sides as it's going, where it's acting a lot quicker. So computer shit's gonna be fucking crazy here in a few years.
Yeah, definitely is going to be. I wonder how it is going to go because with artificial intelligence, it's everybody has kind of there's like 3 or 4 theories of how it's going to happen, like destruction of the humans
Again,
again. They're going to be what a guy described it as this, and I think this is pretty accurate. Right now, they're a tool. AI is a tool. In 10 years from now, they're going to be an assistant.
you know that AI's been here way before we were here.
What do you mean?
Like we didn't create AI. We finally created the technology enough to communicate with AI. AI's always been.
Right.
It's not a thing that's new. We're able to finally now communicate with AI.
Well, there's also a theory that we are on this
Spectrum.
repetitive,
Oh yeah. AI's trying to be more human. Humans are trying to be more AI.
and then it starts over.
Yeah.
To where humans, like 11,500 years ago, we think there was a global impact.
Yep.
Maybe there wasn't. Maybe it was AI, and the humans fought to the death. Boom, and then all of a sudden we're trying to seek this, because that's what we're all trying to do is get answers.
Right.
Every single human wants to know why we're
Well,
here.
we're all computers. Our brain is the hard drive.
But, yeah, I mean, that's a way to look at it.
Collect as much information as you possibly can.
And then that's what the computers are doing right now.
Yeah.
All these
We're just an
companies-
advanced computer. Our body's just walking around doing shit, collecting information on the daily. We're
And right
learning
now,
shit.
we're like cyborgs now. We carry our phone, which is clunky. But in time, as we get smarter and we get more engine, we're like, why are we carrying this in our hand
Right.
when we could Neuralink it?
Right.
And then after a while, it just becomes we are part human, part AI, and then how long before the humanness fades completely and
Right.
it's just artificial intelligence, or does it go? Are we creating another species and basically are we evolving into
Computers.
computers?
Like it's always going to be the battle of AI trying to figure out human emotions. So they're going to obviously create
Their own emotion, that
their
they
own
can
emotion to figure
equivalent-
things
Is
out
that a
to
word?
compute. And then we're trying to be more. Emotions are dumb.
Yeah, I mean, on the grand scheme of things, what if we had a government without emotion, just did what was right for the people?
Right.
Wouldn't that be cool if we could get artificial intelligence as the mayor of Emporia or the city commission? Because they wouldn't make bad decisions; they would make decisions off of what is the best for the community. But
Right.
where does that get weird?
Right.
We are going to do what's best for you no matter what, and what's
Right.
best for you is always like we figured out. We put you all in cages and feed you, and then use you. We work you out or labor you out as. You know, what's best for us might be not what we want. That's why we're free in
Definitely so.
America and not in dictatorships.
Yep. Exactly it.
Oh man, it's really
Shit gets deep real quick,
Yeah,
real
real
fast when you
fast.
start thinking about shit like that.
yeah. I mean, because in the way that we're sort of, or at least historically, from my perspective, how we're designed is we're like sheep for the most part.
Yeah.
And once you get the people going, they all follow.
Yep.
Eventually, or there's a few. Me and you, we're gonna
People are
stand back
very
and look. But a lot of
easily
people are just gonna
influenced
go.
by just a guy in position of power.
Yeah, look at sex
Authority.
cults. All the cults
figures.
turn into this dude banging all the ladies.
And I'm sure they're nice. I'm sure Hitler was a nice guy. You can't have that many followers by being a complete fucking asshole.
Yeah, I mean, Trump does it. Because he's a complete asshole, isn't he?
I'm sure everybody's a complete asshole. That I just assumed if you have a lot of money like he does, you're probably gonna be a complete asshole.
Yeah, I guess. I don't care. I'm not judging, Donald.
Yeah,
if you're listening.
sorry, Donald Trump.
If you're watching, man,
Yeah.
keep doing your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Historically, people have done good and bad things. But yeah, the AI thing is nefarious. And what about, like, we know that it was back in the 90s. You remember Newsweek had the sheep clone in the
Oh,
artificial
yeah,
womb on the
yeah,
cover?
I remember that.
the day that they found out about sheep's being cloned, somebody was cloning humans.
Oh yeah, that's what we know about.
How many of those are out there? How many clones are out there, you think?
You ever seen the movie? Fuck, what the hell is it? The Island. It's got that. Anyways, I can't remember the actor's name, but pretty much in a nutshell is you're a millionaire. You go to the doctor's office, and they say it's an insurance policy where you can pretty much live forever. So if you need a liver, lungs, shit like that, they'll actually clone you, and then they put you out in the middle of the desert underground, and they call it the island because every couple days or so there's like a big thing that comes up and it says, oh, Garrett Nichols, you've gotten chosen, you're going to the island. Which you're not going to the island, they're killing you, taking your heart out and putting it in the other version of you
That they like pre-programmed or something?
they put false memories and programs and shit in your head. Yeah, the island, it's a fucked up, crazy movie, which there's shit probably actually going on like that right now. But some of these guys escape their bunker and realize there's a whole other world out there, and they run into the double of themselves, the multi-millionaire version of them, and yeah, it's a fucked up movie.
Well, I watched one the other day. I can't remember what it's called. It was like kind of a low budget movie, and I just like, well, I'll watch this. And it was these people. What they would do is they would get a clone made, and then the clone would just be in their living room. But it wasn't a clone. It was a cyborg of themselves, like electric. And like they had him, a man and his wife. You would get them, and it would hold your memories. So everything that you felt and experienced would go into this
Clone-ish deal.
Well, her husband died in like a car accident, and she uploaded she activated the cyborg thing and didn't erased the part of the memory where he got in the car wreck and everything, and just woke him up. He just wakes up in his bed and he thinks it's a normal day and it's him, but he doesn't
his
have brain's in a clone now. I can't remember what it was called. And then something started happening.
He started getting flickers, visions
of
the car wreck
life,
and old life and stuff like that. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
But same type of sci-fi situation, which is pretty cool. It's kind of interesting to see the genres. When you see a movie come out during the pandemic, it was pandemic movies all of a sudden just started coming out like crazy.
Right.
And before that, the big craze was zombie movies. And that got pretty interesting. Because just when you start to understand, well, Hollywood's version of what you should think a zombie is, then they change it up with World War Z and make the zombies run. Then 28 days later. I just watched 28 years later.
That sounds familiar too.
28 days later started like early 2000s.
Yeah, and then
they made 28 weeks later. And then just
28 years later.
They made 28 years after the virus. They're all on that island.
Okay, I've seen previews and shit.
Yeah, it's okay. It's pretty.
Maybe I did watch it.
It's got a good nostalgic filming style of the first one, where they beep 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 beep, like the scenes will flash and they play this music and have people doing voiceovers. It's kind of like the first movie in that sense, to where the second one wasn't. Anyway, it was pretty good film, but these aren't zombies. When they would get infected, they got infected with some kind of a disease, and then 28 years later, these people that were infected, there's alphas, and they end up growing, like say you were just a 5'10" guy, you'd be 6'4", and it shows they all got hogs hanging down to their knees. Nice. They're huge, and they're just out banging and killing. If there's anybody that's not been infected, they infect them, but they're pretty normal. You know, they're not like zombies. They just got skin and stuff. They're just infected with this rage disease that makes them, as soon as they bite somebody else and infect them, then they leave them alone. But it's like they get this rage and they have to infect other people.
Huh.
And then once they do, then they're just infected and they go on living just as wild animals, essentially. It's kind of wild. But the genre is what I'm getting at, is that they did the zombie thing, they pushed it to the max, and then they started doing their version of what a zombie would be, or their version of.
It's weird seeing how Hollywood's taking like situations like that. Like I've noticed it with dogs. In the 80s, if you had a dog scene, it was like Dobermans. Then the 90s come around, it was Rottweilers were the big deal.
Snoop Dogg had.
And then all of a sudden, like, it's the pit bull now. And it seems like it ain't really moved on past the pit bull.
Frenchies are like what people are, the bullies are starting to get more popular. But I understand what you're saying.
But you always just see generation. You tell the movie era by the dog, or even like arcade games. I remember the Dobermans, like on one of these weird arcade games.
In every single movie, when somebody's running from the cops, they run into a backyard with a German Shepherd or a pit bull.
Yeah, German Shepherd was kind of
one.
Yeah.
There's always a vicious dog back there.
Yeah, well, the Sandlot.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Oh, that guy just got arrested here a while back.
For what?
Smalls. I think DUI or something. I could be saying that completely wrong. I don't know. I just seen a mugshot of him and what he looks like today. And he doesn't look nothing like he did, of course, as a kid running from a dog.
Imagine being that ugly little fucker and still getting laid because he's a movie star back then and probably still.
Yeah. I wonder if they still call him Smalls when he's getting laid.
I guess. Kill me, Smalls. Kill me, Smalls. Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. He probably tells him to. He's like, tell me I'm killing you, Smalls. He still has that dog. It's laying by the bed. You're killing me, Smalls.
We calling her a day.
Yeah, I think so. I've been having a good time, so I think we'll just continue to have a good time. Maybe just off camera.
Fuck yeah.
Good show. Thanks everybody to watch, and we'll catch you next Sunday.
Happy birthday, Tabby.
Happy birthday, Tabby.